Hi friends, Chanel just launched the new concealer and it's groundbreaking in my opinion. This is the new Chanel Ultra Le Teint concealer, and in this video I'm going to share with you my full review. I'm going to show you how it applies, how it performs, and then I also wanted to review the new Chanel loose powder in travel size. I am going to compare it to the regular size powders of Chanel. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're new to my channel and if you enjoy beauty talks, please take a moment to subscribe. I'm a huge Chanel lover, and for more than 10 years I've tried everything from Chanel beauty, makeup, fragrances, skincare, and I love to talk about the brand. So let's start with the concealer. The new Ultra Le Teint concealer from Chanel is currently exclusive to Sephora France. I'm going to leave a link in the description box, and then I'm going to update the links for the US once it becomes available in the US and worldwide as well. So currently we only have the description in French, so I'm just going to go ahead and read from the website the description and translate from French. This is supposed to be a long-wearing concealer, 12-hour wear, a lightweight concealer, and I would say I said that it's groundbreaking, and I stand behind my words because I've already tried it and it's unlike any other concealer that I have in my collection. I'm so happy that I'm among the first people to be able to try this one, and I'm so happy that actually it launched in France fast because after all Chanel is a French brand. So anyways, enough with the ramble. So let's start with the packaging. This is what the box looks like, pretty standard for Chanel. And then the little bottle, this is how it comes, of the concealer. Very clean design. It's matte glass with a matte cap with the Chanel logo on top, and then it comes with the typical for concealers applicator. So here we have it. I said this concealer is groundbreaking because for the first time ever, I agree with all the claims of this concealer. I'm going to directly translate from French, so it might be a little bit of a rough translation, but I'm going to read from the website and translate directly into English. So this is supposed to be a high-performance waterproof concealer that provides 12 hours of wear and hydration for a flawless illuminated eye contour. Makeup stays intact and skin feels comfortable all day long. Its ultra light texture blends with the skin, ensuring impeccable finish and buildable medium to high coverage. Surface imperfections such as wrinkles, fine lines, and dark circles are visibly reduced. Color imperfections like spots and redness appear reduced. Skin texture is smoothed and the complexion is more even. The eye contour is illuminated for a rested effect. This is what it says on the website, and I completely agree with all the claims of this concealer. First of all, the texture is incredibly light. It feels incredibly light, like a very, very lightweight foundation. A little goes a long way. I would say that it has a solid medium coverage to full coverage. With just a little bit, you can cover a great area. I purchased the shade B10 because this is my usual foundation shade from Chanel. I also have the Ultra Le Teint concealer, and the Ultra Le Teint concealer is known as the highest coverage concealer that Chanel currently make. It's not a full coverage because the whole philosophy of Chanel makeup is not to offer full coverage, but it's a solid medium coverage foundation that has natural finish. The concealer, it is absolutely gorgeous. For my regular viewers, you're going to notice that my arms are quite tan at the moment because it's the end of the summer. So I'm deeper than usual, but B10 works brilliant under my eyes. This is B10 of the Ultra Le Teint foundation. I am going to swatch it here to show you how it compares. The concealer is a little bit paler compared to the foundation. So this is the foundation in B10 and this is the concealer in B10. You can see that the concealer is a little bit lighter compared to the foundation, and it's slightly pinkier compared to the foundation in B10. And this is what allows the concealer to actually provide such beautiful coverage on the eyes and under the eyes. I am going to show you how it applies under my eyes. I've already used the concealer yesterday and it was very hot. The temperatures were very high and it lasted me from the morning until the evening. My under eye area just looked so flawless and brilliant and beautiful. And what I love here about this concealer is that it has high coverage, but at the same time it feels very lightweight. It feels almost like the Guerlain illuminating pen that I love to use, just because it's lightweight, but it doesn't cover dark circles. We can't even compare the amount of coverage that I get here. So this is like the lightest possible product. It feels like nothing on the under eye area. It doesn't settle into any of my fine lines that I have under my eyes. And it stays put during the day. Now I'm going to show you how I look without any makeup so that we can start and apply the concealer. Okay friends, let's go ahead and try the concealer now. I don't have any makeup on. I've already applied my skincare. It's been approximately an hour and a half. After I applied my skincare, I wake up quite early, so this is the concealer. I don't know why I'm keeping it in its box. I'm certainly going to throw away the box. I want to give you a close-up of my skin without makeup prior to applying the concealer. And please keep in mind that generally I don't suffer from a lot of darkness under my eyes. I have normal to combination skin. I don't have a lot of issues like pigmentation where we can actually see how well it covers. But you saw on my hand on the demo that it has a really medium to high coverage. I feel quite confident using this concealer. The issues that I have with my skin is mostly I'm experiencing darkness in this part, in this inner corner of my eye, like most Caucasians are going to experience this kind of darkness when they reach the age of 30. So I do have some darkness right here, and it all depends on how the light actually hits me. It's not that visible in real life, but for some reason camera tends to catch on this and tends to emphasize it. This is mostly because human eye is very forgiving. I like to take a small amount of concealer on the back of my hand, also making sure that the back of my hand is quite clean. I'm taking a small brush. This concealer, a little goes a long way. So I'm only going to apply it where I have darkness, which is exactly here. And then I'm going to pat this with my finger. Okay friends, and I think that you can already see how this side becomes much brighter compared to this one, where I still have the darkness here that we were talking about. Have a look at that. I think that now that I have the concealer on one eye, you can clearly see the difference, how much older I look on this eye. It almost looks as if I have an eye bag under my eye, because this eye is so bright and youthful, whereas this one has the darkness here in the inner corner that I was talking about. And I think that Chanel created a masterpiece. This is like not 10 out of 10 concealer, but for me personally this one is 11 out of 10 concealer. I hope that they're never going to discontinue this one. If you have some issues with dark circles, I think you should definitely try this one. Or even if you don't have, this concealer is just groundbreaking for me because it's so incredibly lightweight. It feels like a serum. It feels like a very lightweight foundation, but with, I would say, solid medium to high coverage, depending on how you're going to use it and depending on how much you're going to use. Also, another benefit is that it doesn't crease during the day. I feel I have to apply also on this eye because the difference is just very impressive. One thing that I have to warn you is you have enough time to work with the concealer and to blend it into the skin, but still do not apply concealer on both eyes. Work each eye at a time because the concealer sets, and once it sets, it's not going to move. It really is a waterproof concealer. It really is a very, very long-lasting concealer, so it is going to set. And I would suggest working one eye at a time with this concealer. So I'm going to use my finger now on this eye. It works equally well. I find that this concealer just works with a brush, with fingers, or with a beauty blender. It doesn't matter how I'm going to use it. It just brightens so well. I'm even considering to buy a shade B20 and kind of use it to mix and match maybe on my skin. I don't know. I just love it so much that I immediately feel the urge to buy a backup, because I've tried many makeup products, loads of makeup products, especially since I started filming videos on YouTube, but I've never had such good concealer. Never, ever. Such good, I mean lightweight and gorgeous concealer. Because usually the lightweight concealers, they don't cover dark circles that well, whereas the concealers that cover dark circles quite well and darkness, they are going to feel a little bit heavy. So this is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and apply just a little bit more right here. I think that probably, for me personally, the biggest advantage of the new Chanel Ultra Le Teint concealer is that I can only use the concealer under my eyes, and I can skip the foundation if I want to. So only brighten the under eye area, but brighten it in a way that it makes me look so much younger. It takes years off my face. And I can choose not to wear makeup on the rest of my face. And this is because it's very lightweight, it's very thin. The consistency blends with the skin seamlessly and doesn't look as if I'm wearing concealer. Whereas if I use a high coverage concealer from any other brand, I feel the urge to apply at least a tinted moisturizer all over my face because it's visible that I have concealer under my eyes if I don't apply any foundation on the rest of my face. So probably the biggest advantage here is that it sinks into the skin so beautifully and so well that it becomes one with the skin. It becomes completely invisible, and it's groundbreaking. For me personally, it's groundbreaking. I would love to hear your thoughts when you try this concealer. Apparently I'm a person who loves Chanel makeup a lot, but this time I'm just blown away. The quality is exceptional. Now I'm going to quickly apply foundation. I'm going to be using the Ultra Le Teint foundation from Chanel to match it, and then we're moving on to the new loose powder. It's actually a travel size powder of Chanel. Okay friends, I've already applied my foundation, and I also did my eye makeup because I wanted to wait for a little while for the foundation to actually make some contact with the oils of my skin, because the Ultra Le Teint foundation from Chanel, initially when I applied, it's quite flawless and I don't need a setting with powder. I always set my face with powder because I have normal to combination skin, so I know that this one is going to start happening. I just wanted the glow to show up so that you can see how the powder performs, because it doesn't make sense to show you how the powder looks if I don't have any glow on my face. You're not going to be able to see. So I have the new Chanel travel size loose powder. I have it in the shade 20, and then I have also the regular size powder from Chanel, again in the shade 20. So we're going to do one side with the travel size powder, the new Chanel loose powder, and then the other side of my face is going to be with the old loose powder. Now, before I start with the actual application, I want to show you how the powder comes. So this is the box of the powder, and I'm going to show you on the screen the ingredients. I think that it's the same powder as the regular size powder from Chanel. It's just in a travel size packaging. This is how the packaging looks like. It's very beautiful. I have to say, I didn't expect such a cute and lovely detailed packaging for a travel size product. Something that I really like here is the mirror. It comes with a mirror, whereas the regular size powder does not have a mirror. Obviously, you're not going to carry this huge jar of powder in your handbag, but this one is quite convenient for touch-ups during the day. Then it opens just like that, and you have a puff here, and it is just a small size puff. It has exactly the same puff that the regular size powder has, which is again very convenient. I like it because usually with travel size products, brands are usually going to should we call it like cut corners. They are usually not going to provide a sponge, or they are usually going to make a worse packaging, considerably worse packaging. This packaging is excellent in my opinion. I really like the touch with the little puff. This puff is actually very good to apply powder on the face. I usually use a beauty sponge to apply powder, but this puff works really nice. So this is what it looks like. There's also one shade that is 12. I purchased this powder right after it was launched. So there were very limited shades when I was ordering this one, so I had to order number 20, but it's good because I generally wear shade 20, and shade 12 is going to be a little bit more rosy. I'm definitely going to purchase shade 12 as well. Now, as for sizing, now the size of this powder is going to be 6 grams, whereas the regular size is going to be 30 grams. So this one is going to be a lot more expensive than the regular size powder, but this one gives you the opportunity to travel and to carry it in your handbag. So it all depends on you and your lifestyle. I would say if you have oily skin and live in a hot and humid climate, I would say that it's probably a nice investment because you're going to be able to touch up during the day. Or if you're someone who travels a lot, this might be a better option, because I've always wanted to take, for example, when we travel, I always want to take my Chanel loose powder, but it's out of the question because it's just so big and inconvenient to travel with this one. So apparently this one has a purpose. Now we're moving on to the application, and I really like that you can close this compartment, turn it upside down to release the powder, and then once the powder is released, your mirror is not going to get dirty from the powder. It's not going to get dusty from the powder. So let me go ahead and take a small amount. I'm always going to make sure to take it on the back of my hand first. You know what? I have to tell you guys that I have a feeling that the formula has been improved a little bit, because now I use regularly this powder. You can tell actually I have very little left. I was about to repurchase, and when I take the regular size powder on the back of my hand, I actually don't see that amount of blur here on my hand. Right after I start tapping it on my hand, I just see incredible amount of blur. So I suppose that they might have changed something in the formula. I can't really tell, but well, I cannot explain this, but I think the formula has been changed. Even if the ingredients are exactly the same, I think that this formula is actually improved, because don't get me wrong, I love this powder. I really like it. You can tell I like it because I've gone through 30 grams of powder. So obviously I have been using it a lot. But I've never gotten such a blurring effect. This blurring effect actually reminds me the old Givenchy Prisma Libre powders before they were reformulated. They would give me such a blurring effect. You know that brands sometimes they list the ingredients, but not really all of them, and you don't know exactly the amount of different ingredients. Even the slightest change in the amount of ingredients in a powder or in a makeup product is going to change the way it performs. And in my opinion, I can firmly say this one is a better, improved version of the powder. This is my personal opinion, of course. I am going to use the old powder on this side of my face. Okay, here we have it. Okay friends, so this is the travel size powder versus the regular size powder. And if I have to be honest, looking at myself in the mirror now, I don't see any difference, but getting close, very close, and with the magnifying mirror, this side with the new powder looks just a little bit more airbrushed, and I would prefer this one. Somehow it gives me a little bit more smooth effect. This is just my opinion. Of course, this is going to vary depending on how much you need powder on your face. For example, if you have more dry skin or dehydrated skin, you might not even notice this very small difference. Now, is it justified to buy this new travel size powder if you already have the big one? No, I don't think so, because the difference is not that obvious. But for me personally, I also have noticed that different batch makeup products might be a little bit different. It is normal. For me, this one, the new one, is just a little bit better than the regular size powder. But again, it's all going to depend on you. It's all going to depend with powders. It depends very much on your skin type, how your skin behaves, what is the size of your pores, how visible they are actually, and how much oil your skin produces during the day. I really love this one. I would rate it 10 out of 10 for me. I know it's more expensive, but it's a travel size product, so it's targeting a certain audience. If you want to carry this in your handbag, I would prefer this one to be more expensive, but to be well made like this one, because as I mentioned, I have noticed many times that with travel size makeup products, brands are going to cut corners and they're going to make the product less appealing, not as good. They are not going to include certain products like, let's say, a puff. The puff is really good, exceptional quality. I love the mirror. I love the design. I love that I can carry this one. And for me, it's justified because I have normal to combination skin. Sometimes I just want to touch up during the day, and this is going to be excellent for travel as well. Now, before I share with you my final thoughts on the new Chanel concealer and the new Chanel travel size powder, I wanted to show you a new purchase. I purchased 2 colors from the new Dior Rouge Dior On Stage lipsticks. They are beautiful. I just wanted to show you because I have fallen in love with one of the colors, and it's actually sold out at my retailer currently. So this one is 120 Iconic Rose. It has a shine finish. It's the perfect nude color. I just want to show you how it looks. Probably here on my finger, it's best to swatch lipsticks. So this one is Iconic Rose. It's so beautiful. I have fallen in love with this one, and this is a color that I will keep repurchasing. And then the other color that I purchased is 168, and this one is Copper Attraction. Again, a very beautiful color for the fall season. I'm going to swatch it here. You can see it's not too dark actually. It's lovely. It's beautiful. I just wanted to show you. And then I also ordered one Lancome lipstick. Well, I love lipsticks. That again turned out to be very beautiful. And this one is 320 Hush Hush. And this is from the new Lancome lipsticks. They just launched in Europe. So this is what the packaging looks like. It has a click opening like the Chanel lipsticks. It has this little Lancome rose here on top. And this is the most beautiful, like a rosy nude color, dusty nude color. It's lovely. But this one is a matte formula. But what surprised me is that it's such a beautiful matte formula that's non-drying on the lips. So I just wanted to show you this color as well. Now, before I move on to sharing my final thoughts on the concealer and the loose powder, there is a catch about these lipsticks. They are so beautiful. The packaging is absolutely stunning. This color, Iconic Rose, is my absolute perfect nude color. I am going to repurchase this lipstick many times, multiple times. I know that because it's my perfect nude color. It is a dream come true for me. However, there is a catch. So this one is actually, it has a slim design, but it's actually 2.2 grams of product. Whereas the regular Dior lipstick from the Dior Rouge line has 3.5 grams of product. So this is just something to keep in mind. And I'm going to pull out the whole lipstick so that you can see exactly how much product you are going to get. I think that if used daily, I am going to have to repurchase this one. So this is the amount of product that you get. This is the full lipstick. This is the only downside, and it becomes pricier because it's not a lot. However, I will still buy it. I think that the formula is good. It feels very nourishing on the lips. It feels lovely on the lips. So just wanted to show you, just wanted to share that with you. And then we're moving on to my final thoughts. This concealer from Chanel, I would give it 11 out of 10. It is so good. I wouldn't change a single thing about this concealer. The packaging is very convenient. It's very nice. But I don't really care about the packaging of a concealer. It performs like a dream. And I think if you have darkness under the eyes, definitely go ahead and try this one. It's non-drying. Of course, you are supposed to moisturize the skin under your eyes if you're using concealer or any kind of makeup, or even if you're not using makeup. I don't think that it's going to be drying if your under eye area is well moisturized. Just keep in mind here one beauty tip that I have for you. A lot of the eye creams, the under eye creams that are targeting and that claim to have anti-aging benefits are not very moisturizing, which can mess the concealer performance of a lot of concealers. So just make sure when you're wearing a full face of makeup and concealer under the eyes, even if you use some kind of anti-aging eye cream, under eye cream, make sure to use something on top that is going to actually add hydration to the skin. Because one of the main reasons why concealers don't look good as the day goes, and in 2-3 hours some concealers might start looking bad, is because the skin under the eyes is very thin. It is usually going to be dry even for people who have combination oily skin, especially as you reach your 30s or 40s, skin becomes drier and drier and thinner and thinner. And this is the time when we start to use anti-aging under eye creams, but they are not the most moisturizing ones. So make sure that the under eye area is very well moisturized, otherwise concealer and makeup are not going to perform well. So this is just something, a beauty tip that I wanted to share with you. Also make sure to check out my makeup masterclass series. I create them with lots of love and I have lots of fun creating them for you, and we have a lovely community. Often there are makeup artists who leave comments that are very useful as well. So the concealer, I absolutely love it. It's a love from the first use. It's one product that I'm going to keep repurchasing, and Chanel created the best concealer in my opinion. Currently, I would put this as my #1 concealer of all times. As for the powder, I think it's beautiful. I really like it. I love how blurring it is. And I'm convinced that they improved the formula a little bit because I prefer this one over this one. And especially as the day goes, I feel like when I use the travel size powder, my skin remains flawless and I don't need touch-ups. With this powder, I tend to need a touch-up in the summer months. And after 5-6 hours of wear, I do need a little bit of touch up with the regular size powder. So, but these are normal changes. With different batches, minor changes may occur in makeup products. So if you already have the big size powder, you don't need to buy this one right away. Just use your regular powder. And these are my final thoughts. Thank you so much for spending time with me, for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, bye!